is so much advice out there on how to unlock better style, from buying more clothes to copying Pinterest outfits. Having tried a lot of the advice out there, I've come to realize that there is only one thing that guarantees good style. And it's not just about better style today for this single outfit we're wearing, but better style every single day. The secret, it's knowing how to repeat and rework your outfits. And I'm gonna share with you 6 tips today on how to do this for your wardrobe. The idea of repeating and reworking an outfit is pretty self-explanatory, but I want to talk about how you can go about this in a way that keeps your wardrobe feeling fresh and interesting. I want to repeat my pieces all the time, but I also don't want to wear the exact same uniform every day. This is about a balance to keep things interesting, but to wear the same pieces all the time. Tip number 1 is all about why repeating outfits improves our personal style. As a content creator, when I look back, all of my worst outfits are outfits where I got carried away, I bought a lot of new clothes, and I'm wearing head to toe new things that feel trendy. Most new clothes will feel at least a little bit trendy. It can be the silhouette of a garment, it can be the particular shade of color used, it can be a certain fabric that is trendy right now, but most new clothes have some element of currentness. So when I'm wearing head to toe new clothes, it actually doesn't feel very authentic. Instead, it feels a little bit too trend driven and just flat and not in line with my authentic style. But let's just say we bought just one thing this season, and when we mix that one thing with our existing pieces that we are repeating, suddenly it creates depth in our outfit. Because we've got that item from 5 years ago, we've got that item from 3 years ago, that is a reflection of our longer term style. And then we have that item that is new in. And when there are these layers, our style just immediately feels more real. It feels more layered. It feels authentic and like it's created over time. It's the reason why when I jump from one aesthetic, for example, being really into like cottagecore or being really into like the fisherman aesthetic or whatever, when I jump from aesthetic to aesthetic, I never feel like it's very chic or very interesting because there is that lack of layering and a lack of repeating old favorites that are actually a key part of my style. This doesn't just apply to new clothes. Even if we're styling pieces we already own, it's about adding in layers. So maybe adding in something that you had many years ago so that you're tying in your old style with your current style and there is that layering. With older pieces, I will admit, I do find it fun to tie in something I'm obsessed with currently. So it doesn't have to be like brand new, but just something you love right now will create that layering of what you love now and what you loved then. In a lot of people I admire, I notice that they have this thread going through their style where these certain kinds of accessories and pieces reoccur and get repeated all the time. I think this is the basis of this video, creating that continuity that creates authenticness in our style, and that I think 100% improves every outfit we wear. I also find this way of building a wardrobe quite fun, where we are kind of collecting a little bit slower over time. We are adding things to our wardrobe and allowing ourselves to do some of that, but then also really taking care of old pieces and making sure we're wearing them and they last as well. Tip number 2 is about how to recreate the same feeling of an outfit we loved but using different items of clothing. This outfit combination here is one of my favorite outfits I wore all year. It's so simple, but I love it. And what I want to do is that I'm going to repeat this outfit all the time, but I also want to rework this outfit so that I can use other pieces in my wardrobe to give me the same feeling as this look that I loved. When I want to do this, I usually start by figuring out why I love this combination. So for me, it's that I love a pop of color. So the cobalt blue feels really bright, and that's like one of the big things in fashion that I love. I love simple geometric prints. So a check, a plaid, a stripe. I guess I love lines, and you don't just see that in my clothing, you see that literally all around me as well. I like styling that feels layered, but at the same time, I wear simple outfits. So in this look, you've got the neckline kind of poking through. It's really simple little neckline. I like layering the chain detail onto cozier knitwear. Once I understand why I like a certain outfit so much, I then try to recreate this vibe using the other clothes I own because I want to make the most out of my wardrobe. It's completely unintentional, but even in today's outfit, we've got that layering of the t-shirt over the sweater. Instead of the check in the skirt, I've gone for a stripe in the top. I'm very repetitive. Instead of the pop of blue, the only kind of blue accent I have is on my bracelet, where I've got these like little blue stones, and that's like a subtle pop of color. And eventually when I go out, I do have like the sock and loafer situation, creating more layering. I don't have the mohair texture knit anymore, but I've got like a wool herringbone texture in my skirt. So I've basically repeated that exact outfit today, and just reworked it so that, yes, it's a different outfit, but I love it because it's got the features of what I really like wearing. This is actually the key to really unlock your best outfits. It's the key to creating authentic style, because as you understand what you like, your outfits will become so much more aligned. If you're like me, something I've always found overwhelming is when people say just wear what you want, wear what you like. And I find that it's very hard to know that until you have done exercises like this to figure out exactly the details you like. Next up, let's get more specific. So let's talk about color combinations and how to repeat color combinations and rework them to create our best looks. So repeating color combinations. First thing, look at your old outfits. Figure out the color combinations that made you feel your best. For me, I love greens and reds. I love blues and yellows. I love these complementary color pairings. It feels really chic to me. Knowing this, I like to maximize my wardrobe by moving colors around. So for example, there are so many outfits waiting to be worn in our wardrobe when we shuffle combinations around. I often go for a pop of color red in my shoes or my bag. So then sometimes instead of going for red in my bag, going for red in my t-shirt, because that unlocks new colors in my wardrobe. I have colors in skirts that I don't have in bags, for example. So we're really maximizing our wardrobe combinations, and this is especially powerful if you have a smaller wardrobe. In every section of our wardrobe, we have different colors, different pieces, obviously. So when you can move things around, it literally doubles, triples your outfit combinations. Sometimes we see something we like on Pinterest, or on an influencer or something, and we might feel discouraged because we don't have those pieces, but honestly, you just need to work that color into your outfit. If she's got a red bag, you can do like a red scrunchie, or you can do like a red scarf, or like a red sock. You can move things around, and what I find is that the final result is very similar because you're using those colors. You're just putting them in a different place. And the placement actually doesn't matter as much as the combination of colors. I use this tip a lot with inspiration that I see. So on Pinterest, I save so many color combinations that I'm gonna recreate one day. And instead of being obsessed with the exact pieces someone's wearing, I just simply kind of take the color combination and try to match it to different areas of my wardrobe till we get close. Second part of this is learning how to rework new color combinations based on what you like. So the thing about color is that if we're trying to style something like blue, the colors we pair with it can create completely different vibes. And we need to know which vibe we are into. So based on what you liked in the past, you can start to work out that certain color combinations will feel more classic, and you may or may not like that. Certain color combinations can feel more playful. You may or may not like that. And when you understand this, you can start to create new color palettes based on what you used to like or what you currently like. I like playful color combinations, and I know this because I love things like green and red. So then I can develop and expand this out with color combinations that will give me a similar vibe. Instead of always wearing red and green, which I repeated a lot. Lately, I really like this olivey green and burgundy. It's a little bit more wearable, a little bit more subdued. Same idea. And then we can take another jump, going from that olive green to like a yellow. They're very similar in that they're very warm, earthy colors. And having tested this, I love the yellow with the burgundy. From here, I don't know, we can jump from yellow to maybe like a red. We can jump from yellow to a brown. And we basically just keep on testing combinations based on what we used to like. It creates the same vibe that we know we like, but it expands the combinations we have. Something I love about repeating an outfit is that we have limited time in the morning. And instead of figuring out what base combination I'm gonna wear that day, repeating an outfit decides that. So then you can focus on the things that will actually make a difference to your outfit, which is layering. When I just go for this sweater that I've worn 100 times, with a skirt that I know looks good with the sweater because I wore it, last week, I can then focus on the smaller details of what is going to tie this outfit together and how I can create more layers in my look. The difference between like kind of boring basics worn together and a really chic outfit are just those layers that tie everything together. This little section is something we neglect because honestly, I know everyone is busy, don't have a lot of time to get ready, don't always have the effort, but if we can create uniforms and spend a little bit more time on this section as opposed to deciding what to wear, it actually has such a big result on the final look. So then in the mornings when I've put on an outfit I've repeated 101 times, I take a step back, I look at the textures firstly, to figure out what the outfit kind of needs. Usually what happens is that basics are pretty flat in texture. That cotton sweatshirt that I've been wearing a lot that I love is a very, very flat knit texture. There's almost no texture. So then if I pair it with a bottom that is also kind of flat looking, it's actually quite boring. But at the same time, it's the perfect foundation to layer on textures that is going to take it from something very, very simple to something that is Pinterest worthy, really elevated, feels layered, and maybe like a little eclectic. Let me share this random epiphany I had last night, which actually really ties with this tip. Currently, I'm trying to decorate this place and doing it pretty slowly. So I've got these chairs, and last night I just wanted to have like a cozy night, so I brought a cushion and a fro. I think this cushion really does clash with the chair. There's just like a lot of pattern happening, but then when I just like saw my fro against the chair with the cushion, it felt so much more balanced because suddenly we've got these layers and this plain layer tying everything together. It's the color of the fro that matches the chair and it's adding in that texture that seems to bind everything together. Sometimes we put on two pieces that feel like they don't go together. Like it's not working. But what you'll find is that if you add on a few textures, add on a couple of pieces, one or two, to bridge those two items that don't feel like they go together, it ends up looking a lot more cohesive. If two colors feel like they don't go together and you put in something in between those two, sometimes it works really well. The reason why new outfits are never my best, but repeated outfits become my best is because I have the time to do these in-between steps that I would neglect in the morning if I was spending all my time deciding, which piece to wear. When in fact, it doesn't matter. It comes down to the styling. If you've been repeating your outfits a lot, there comes to a point where you inevitably start to feel really bored with the combinations you create. Even if you love them, you're just kind of bored of wearing the same thing all the time. Probably the thing that stops a lot of people from repeating outfits more, and I know this for myself, is that we tend to get tunnel vision and we only style pieces in a very set way, and that gets repetitive. So to challenge myself, every season, maybe there's a few pieces that I'm struggling with or I want to get more combinations out of. So I create like a little Pinterest board for it. Maybe there's like 5 to 10 photos, doesn't have to be crazy, and I'll take small things that I like from these outfits and apply it to my own. You can do this for clothes that you want to get more wear from. You can do this for older clothes that you feel like you've just worn too many times. And I also like to do this for new clothes to get the ball rolling. I have 2 cardigans that have been out and about. I've been styling it in different ways. One is this one that is this green, taupey brown shade. I've been wearing this a lot. I've styled it in a few ways and it feels like I've exhausted my combinations, but I know I haven't even scratched the surface. So I've created a board for it and it really just makes me see all the ways that it is possible to wear this item and not just in the few combinations that I like to repeat all the time. This is a newer sweater in my wardrobe. I love it, but it's a little bit outside of my usual comfort zone. So instead of repeating the same kind of boring combinations I've been wearing with it, I just wanted to create a little board to get more inspiration so I can figure out what my favorite combinations of this item is going to be. It doesn't have to be grand. I just realized I love styling pieces like this with light blue jeans. Light blue because it feels the most light and casual, and it counteracts some of the preppiness and the timelessness of a pattern like this. You can be getting these small pieces of inspiration. It doesn't have to be crazy inspo for it to be worthwhile. Final thing, why repeating is that thing that is going to give us better style is because it allows your style to transition really gracefully from one look to another. I think it's very chic when our style evolves over time, slowly with our lifestyle. But something I used to do that I find very not chic is that I used to jump around from one style into another. I'll have feminine style one day and I'll get bored of it. 2 weeks later, I'll decide to have a more masculine style. And then 2 weeks later, I'll get bored of that and I'll jump into a new aesthetic and then another one. And there felt like there were these jarring breaks from one style into another. And not only did this mean that I was just like buying things for my wardrobe way too quickly, it also means that it felt jarring to look at. There was no seamless transition. There was no blending of style. There was just jumping from one to another. If I am repeating my outfits, what is more likely to happen is that as my style changes, I'll bring in a few pieces maybe over time, and I'll mix those pieces in with older favorites. I know that this base outfit I love, so then you add in the new jacket and you can see your style is transitioning into a different look, but it's not jarring. And it's also a chance for ourselves to test out whether this style is really for us in a more natural way, or I guess in a more responsible way than I was. And you get to see whether this is for you. If you find that it's not for you, it's not the end of the world because it's a simple piece that you can style with older pieces to fit in with your old style. And if it is for you, you can start blending one piece at a time more and more into that new style. It feels like a really natural, longer term approach to our style than whatever I was doing in the past. I think in the long term, our style is all about blending, introducing a few new pieces every season, blending that with the old, and then this continues in a really natural, organic way, as opposed to, I think, being too strategic about it and suddenly feeling like all our pieces need to perfectly align with a new style that we have. It is rather exhausting and something I no longer want to do. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed making this format. It's a little bit different to what I've been doing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week ahead and I'll see you next one. Bye!